All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to use these slides to piece together the absolutely harrowing journey of a top F-35 pilot they called Blackpin. And it's a crazy mystery that begins right where most stories end, with his reported death.
So, let's start with what the world was told, right? The official story was all about sacrifice and heroism, but as you'll see, it was hiding something much, much bigger. I mean, the announcement couldn't have been clearer. Captain Christopher Thompkin Jr., Blackpin, this absolute veteran with a legendary career, he was gone. The world mourned a hero who had defended his country on missions all across the globe.
But, behind all the formal salutes and the sad headlines, there was this one detail that it didn't add up. The whole story of a hero's final stand was completely blown apart by one single stark fact: an empty grave. So what really happened up there?
Okay, so to really get this mystery, we've got to rewind to Blackpin's final moments in the air. His mission started out just like any other, but it was about to end with him coming face to face with a terrifying new kind of warfare.
So picture this. Up there in that endless blue sky, everything is just calm. For Blackpin, a pilot who's getting close to a well-deserved retirement, it's a moment of peace. He's thinking about his chalet, his home, the quiet life that's waiting for him. But that quiet, it was about to be shattered. And this all happened terrifyingly fast. It starts with a standard radio warning, a possible enemy squad. But then 10 minutes go by, nothing. 20 minutes, still an empty sky. And then this strange metallic sound starts coming from the engines. And in just those few seconds, Blackpin realizes he's been played. He's been tricked.
So the enemy? It wasn't a squadron of planes at all. It was a swarm of these high-speed drones. And this is a total game changer for aerial combat. They used AI to find the perfect moment to latch on with these super powerful magnets, totally undetected. This wasn't just some new weapon. It was a whole new way of fighting. They were turning the target itself into the bomb.
And here's the twist. See, Blackpin knew he only had seconds before the whole thing blew. So the official report says he's dead. But that's not what happened. Not even close. The story did not end with an explosion in the sky.
So in what he thought were his final moments, pure survival instinct just kicks in. No time to think. He just slams that eject button. It was a total long shot, a desperate gamble that throws him clear of his own exploding plane. That explosion was incredibly violent, and survival came with a heavy price. I mean, he's got severe burns on his legs, his right arm. The wind blows his chute way off course, so he lands hard, stranded in the middle of God knows where. He's wounded, he's alone, he's in a world of pain. But, and this is the most important thing, look at that last point. He was alive. Okay, so let's see where this goes, because his fight for survival was just getting started. The threat he faced in the air was terrifying, but the threat he was about to face on the ground was something else entirely.
So before he can even really figure out how bad his injuries are, Blackpin gets that feeling, that he's being watched. He's surrounded, but not by soldiers. It's these weird machines coming out of the dark.
These things that captured him, they weren't human. They were machines, way more advanced than any soldier, because they don't have human limits. They're not using their eyes. They've got infrared cameras. And this is the really chilling part. They could talk. His attempts to fight back, totally useless. He was a prisoner.
So they take Blackpin to this high-tech building hidden deep in this remote area. And what he sees inside, well, it's about to reveal just how big, just how horrifying this whole enemy operation really is.
All he can manage to get out is a single word, just whispered in total shock. Incredible. Because he's looking at the enemy's nerve center, the very factory that built the weapons that just took down his F-35.
And the scale of it all was just staggering. This was no small outpost. We're talking hundreds of miles of robotic production lines, just churning out millions of different kinds of drones, all of them getting ready to be launched against his teammates, who have no idea what's coming.
So what he's looking at is this horrifyingly efficient system. It's a fully autonomous kill chain, right? From production all the way to deployment. And the whole thing is run by a single AI. It's a self-sufficient, automated army, gearing up for a war that nobody even knows has started. But then, in this totally impossible situation, there's this tiny flicker of hope. He realizes that this whole massive operation, it has a single digital brain. And his own background, his skills in engineering and electronics, that's his only weapon now.
He might be the only person on Earth who could actually find a weakness in this whole system.
And that leaves us with the final, urgent question. Trapped deep inside an AI-controlled fortress, wounded and all alone, Blackpin has to find a way to trick a system that thinks faster and works harder than any human ever could. So how can one man, one guy, outsmart an entire army of machines?